Alright, there we go. Hi, everybody. So I'm going to apologize in advance. I did start this game. I got to the title screen, so I took down a boss fight. Went through the tutorial stuff fairly quickly. So yeah, I was hoping to play this game on a different profile and then play it on my personal profile as like a thing, but apparently if you have the non-disc version, which I did because I got the collector's edition, yeah, can't transfer it to the other player. So yeah, unless I wanted to buy the game again, so which we're not gonna do because that's just a waste of money. So like I said before, sorry in advance. It's in the title. I'm just gonna click on continue, move on with the story. If you want to see the first part, there's plenty of other YouTubers, Twitch streamers that have probably done a whole thing on this. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. So let's get moving. Let's get moving. So yeah, right now I'm in the Orstrom camp. We are gonna go check out the embassy. I did like the little conflict between the ambassador and the whole rope bridge situation. So yeah, that's pretty much all I done. I did find one metal flower, but I didn't have the ability to do anything with it. So yeah, I should have just waited till today. I don't know, I really wanted to play it, and yeah, I didn't feel like streaming it, and, you know, playing it myself is, I also have, like, a big-ass TV to play it on, like, I didn't want to play it on my tiny monitor, but now I'm kind of in this mood, yeah, so we're just gonna go. These two are having a good old time.
Oh, hi!
Oh, hi!
Cool. Ah, finally. So oven blows
Is this a crafting table? It is a crafting table. Weapons upgrade. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Yeah, I mean, why not? Now a new saddle shell. Oh, I see. It's probably just finding the supplies and stuff. He said it as like a quest marker.
Shop looks closed.
Yep.
Can I still use the workbench?
I ain't gonna stop you.
Cole's light has been unlocked. For one of your weapons, can be through tap.
She's a keeper. Send her a letter with I wish you.
It was this one that got the coil. And there's no coil available, so.
This should be useful. Now I just need to find Erend and help him clear the...
Oh, you just took out a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, do you? Oh, no, this is my stash. I was looking for a shop. I think this is the shopkeeper. Because in the last game, there was a whole metal shard, like, bullshit situation. So, can I talk to you yet? No, I guess not. That's fine. I would like to talk to you. I like new armor. Speaking of which, I'm gonna have my source for a minute. And I'm gonna see what happened to those. I don't know what that is. No, it's not that, so it has to be the... No, cancel. I got shits in my pack. Where are they? Interesting. I don't know where those are. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I have some downloaded content and I can't find it. It's probably somewhere in my purchases. Probably gotta go and look at. Go look at some stuff. I was trying to find some of these quest markers, but I'm not sure where they are. There's one.
Doing better than I am.
What happened to you?
That damn mine is what happened to me. It won't be the last injury if Olvin keeps shoving those tongs into those tunnels.
What mine?
Northeast of Chain Scrape, where the river ends. I told Corvin we should stop when the first cave-in happened, but Olvin probably threatened to cut off our pay. Or worse.
How about you slow down and take me through it? You mentioned you were injured in a cave-in.
Yeah, a couple days ago. That's how I hurt this blasted leg. Corvin and the others were opening a new vein while I was checking on an older one. As soon as their blast hit,
I do have to
tunnel
admit,
eyes
I
and
do like
collapsed.
the new, like...
Might have dodged it if I wasn't running on barely a spark of sleep.
Like the new,
We were pushing too hard and too fast.
dads.
And you're afraid Corvind and the others might not be as lucky if it happens again.
Mm-hmm. Hit the nail right on the head.
How come Olvin's in charge? Don't these mines belong to the Karja?
Try telling Olvin that. He brought in all the backing to get them open. Might as well own them. Fire and spit. You ask him. He owns us as well.
Who's Corvind?
He's their foreman. And a damn good one. The kind that knows how to deal with management when it gets unreasonable. But Olvin... his demands go beyond unreasonable. Corvin's been doing his best to appease him. He even blamed
Wow, this
himself
is like
for my
today's
losing. It was Ovid who ordered
society
That's why we all put up with
bullshits
the
right
long
here.
hours and lousy conditions. But if the whole mine becomes unstable, I'd rather suffer Ovin's wrath than die buried in rubble.
Can't blame
I could
him.
check in on your crew if I'm in the area.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so if I do more stuff, it does show up on the map. Okay. I was worried that was going to become an issue when I selected another thing in the game, so...
We are on the same side here, Ulvund. What do you want, Ulvund? Some kind of payment?
My dear magistrate, you think I can be bought? If you want that whistle,
he's
all
an
you have to do is
ass.
have your soldiers
He's
remove
an
the
ass.
whistleblacks and sign the concession decree. Face it. What other choice do you have?
Hi.
Hi.
What
Hi.
auspicious timing. Might we discuss a matter of importance to the Sundom?
We might. Later.
Very well. I shall be waiting.
So, the savior herself. Walloper of Derval, gutter of youth.
Maybe.
I've heard many tales of your beauty and heroics, my fierce lady warrior. Ulvund Freeholder, at your service. So, what could have dragged you away from the fine silks and wine of Meridian to this smudge of a settlement? Your saviorly attention must be needed elsewhere.
I'm here for the embassy and...
The embassy? Why, by the forge. Ah. Greater gears for greater matters. Guess that means you'll be moving on.
Interesting.
Once I've dealt with any problems around here that need my saviorly attention.
Ah, the bristlebacks, of course. Got to get rid of them if you want that embassy to take place. Well, best get to it, hey? And off you go.
Not so fast. You don't seem to have a high opinion of the magistrate?
Well, I refuse to play nice to some fancy-robed parchment pusher when my fellow laborers are being bullied, intimidated, and taken advantage of.
How noble of you.
Noble, ha!
She knows.
Born with a
She
hammer in hand,
knows.
I was. Nobody handed me anything or dropped opportunity into my lap. Everything I've achieved, I've done on my own.
And where is this hammer now?
The, burden of leadership forced me to set it aside. The
Bullshit.
Carja risk nothing, while demanding that good Oseram gamble with their lives out there. Someone had to step up and say no more.
You ordered the work stoppage?
Indeed I did. We're laborers, not soldiers. Until the Carja clean up their mess and give us the fair deal we deserve, I'm not risking Oseram lives.
Fair deal? You mean your concession decree?
It's not my decree. It's on behalf of all the good Oseram laborers of this land who do all the backbreaking work, while only the Carja reap the rewards. All we're asking for is the ability to share in this prosperity for a land worked by the people, for the people.
Right. And just how much would be your share?
Only an amount appropriate to my contributions to this community, of course.
Well, you sit on your ass and do absolutely fucking nothing.
If Chainscrape is on Carja land, shouldn't a Carja be in charge? Who appointed you?
The sensibilities of good Oseram folk, of course. You think a Carja can head this whole venture? Ah! The magistrate can barely make the trek from Barren Light without losing a few screws.
So you have no real authority then? People only follow you because you say so. loudly.
Anyone who has followers has authority. I've been with Chainscrape from the beginning. I mean, I'm practically its founder, and its honest folk know I'm indispensable to its success.
You said you founded Chainscrape. Somehow I doubt that.
Practically founded, I said. I alone saw its potential when it was just a smattering of tents in Barren Light's shadow. I invested in the mine, convinced some friends back home to do the same.
She's like,
and here
I'm
we
done
are.
hearing this bullshit.
You could say Chainscrape is what it is thanks to me.
Oh, so you're not just standing around and profiting off everyone else?
Not at all. Sure, I make a little return on my investment here and there, but my main priority, as it was from the beginning, is to look after the well-being of these honest, working Osram.
Where's the whistle?
Right in the middle of town, but with the threat out there, I'm not endangering innocent Osram lives.
I'm going to clear out the bristlebacks. And when I'm done, this valley is gonna get moving.
If that's what it takes. Until then, I'll keep looking after the safety of these good folk.
Just be ready to blow the whistle. Better see what that Karja magistrate wanted. I bet he's in the tavern.
Almost ready to go?
Hey, Mildef. Mildef. I took some of your stew last time I went into the wilds. Kept me going for a week. Felt like I could have put a strider in a sleeper hold.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Sounds like you're serving up some impressive provisions here.
Not again. You can have the discount too, but you'll have to come back later.
I think you have me confused with someone else.
Olvin didn't send you?
No.
Oh, my apologies. It's just that his minions won't stop pestering me. Now I've even worn out my special grill. Since I'm in the midst of a crisis, perhaps you could skip to what it is you wanted?
Some of your food?
Of course.
Are Ulvin's people causing you problems?
Oh, yeah. They constantly demand my best, but the equipment I need to make my signature dishes isn't built for batch cooking. And don't get me started on the Ulvin discount they feel so entitled to.
And if you refuse?
I make meals, no trouble.
How did you end up in Chainscrape?
Heard about a new and upcoming town at the edge of the frontier. Where there's a town, there's a tavern. I was in need of work.
He's
So,
not wrong
I
about
myself out
that.
there and started cooking. Some of these people had never tasted proper boars and berries stew before. Anyway, next thing I knew, people kept coming back. Guess they liked my food. Or the ale.
Probably the latter, but
Your last customer mentioned your cooking really kept him going out in the wild. Where I'm headed, I could use some of that.
I would be happy to oblige, especially since you have the decency to ask pleasantly. But my special groove griddle is no more. Without it, I can't cook any of my signature dishes. I hate to think what'll happen when I'm forced to refuse Olvin or his goons. Even if I already had the right ingredients, there's nothing I can do. Unless you can source me a temporary replacement?
What do you need?
For the ingredients, a few pieces of decent wild meat, and I'd say a big handful of bitter leaf stems. That'll do. As for the griddle, a corrugated metal panel might suffice until I can have a new one forged. You'd likely find one in a scrounger pile if you follow the river to the northeast. Don't worry, I'll clean it first. You'll have no issue finding boars and bitter leaf on your way. Assuming you're as much a hunter-gatherer as your clothing suggests.
Thanks, Mildef. I'll keep an eye out.
So that's what gratitude sounds like.
And
Aww.
don't let anyone push you around, okay?
If you say so.
Why do I feel like I'm playing like some first-person version of Monster Hunter with this like giant like area here with all these people? Like I feel like Monster Hunter right now. It's really weird. It's a weird sensation I'm having. I don't know what this question mark is. Oh no!
About that brew?
Even the savior. Come to revel in some strike, sister? Let me set
I
the
found my
I
horde!
was just
The
passing
ditching! I
first
found my
time.
horde! The
Don't worry
ditching!
about it.
No!
Go easy on me. You got
No!
any pieces?
No.
Well, aren't you in luck then? I got an extra set, a Tanakh original straight out of the Forbidden West. Sit. I'll run you through it in a hot spark. I'll give you something special if you win it on my boards, too.
No! Hopefully this is not gonna be as dictated as Orlog is. Ah! Alright. Shit. Beginners. Oh, okay. So just teach me how to play. Yes.
All right, let's start off simple. The Tanakh like to say that Machine Strike is a game of pure strategy. We each get a set of pieces. Each piece represents a kind of machine, and each machine is worth a different number of victory points. And to win the game, you'll need to gain 7 victory points by destroying the opponent's machines. It can be tricky remembering the details of every machine, so we use these notes to keep track of them. You see that number on the top right corner?
Fuck me, it's magic. Fuck me, it's magic.
That there is how many victory points you'll get for destroying that machine. Notes also tell you how far a piece can move, how powerful their attacks are, the distance they can strike from, and of course, their health. Okay, that's enough for now. Let's just play. I'll explain the rest as we go. I own the board, so I get to choose who goes first. Since this is your first time, I'll let you go. Usually you get to choose which pieces to set on the board, but this will do for now. Pick up that machine piece to your right, and move it forward. And remember, each machine can take a look at your notes if you need a reminder. Just need to move that machine forward, Red. Easy enough, huh? Now, you get to move 2 machines each round, so go ahead and pick a second machine. Perfect. There's not much else to do for now, so just end your turn. We're forging onwards. Let me move my pieces here. And we're back to you. This time, why don't you try attacking one of my pieces? Try with that machine on your right first. Now move the piece close enough to attack one of mine. When performing an attack, you'll be testing your machine's combat power against the opponent's. A machine's combat power is a combination of the terrain your machine is standing on and its own attack power. This board only has grassland terrain, which has no effect on a machine's combat power. And your current machine has 2 points of attack power. So in total, your machine's combat power equals 2 points. Since my machine isn't the one attacking, it has 0 points of attack power. And just like your machine, it's not affected by grassland terrain. So right now, the difference in combat power between the 2 machines is 2 points. This means your machine can do 2 points of damage to my machine. Did you get all that? Knew you were a smart one. Finish up by attacking my machine. Not pulling any punches, huh? Now grab that second machine of yours. See how your machine can't move close enough to attack mine? You can make your machine sprint. That lets it move one space further. Try it out. Downside to sprinting is that your machine can no longer attack. Now, some players like to take a risk and overcharge their machine in cases like this. Overcharging lets you attack after a sprint, but it will damage your machine's health by 2 points. So use at your own discretion. Let's try doing that now so you can see what I mean. That's about it for your turn then. Now, I'll let you in on a neat trick. That machine of yours, the one closest to me, grab a hold of it. Same as in the wilds, machines have both armored points and weak points. You can see them marked on the pieces. Blue shows where their armor is thickest. Hit them there and you'll do some damage, but not a lot.
So it's overcomplicated, like magic combined with chess?
Hit those and you'll deal a mighty blow.
Because I'm assuming that spot where it says that...
your machine faces
oh,
mine.
I just realized you guys can't not see at all.
Now let that machine... Off the board she goes, and there's your first victory points. You don't have 7 of them yet, so let's keep going. Your machine attacked mine, but hasn't moved yet. Go ahead and move downwards towards my remaining piece. You've already attacked a machine and moved your piece, but if you overcharge your machine, you can attack a second time. And by the look of your machine's health, you'd be sacrificing your piece to defeat mine. But sometimes, that can be a good thing. Overcharge your machine to attack... Let's keep this game going. Overcharge your machine. Ain't that a thrill? Now, because your machine was knocked out at the same time as mine, we both get the victory points our machines are worth. Good news is, since you're the one attacking, you're gonna receive your victory points before I do. Which means you can reach the coveted 7 victory points first. That's why sometimes losing a piece can be the best way to end a game in your favor. Now, you'll notice you didn't get quite up to 7 victory points this time, but you did destroy all my pieces. That means you're the winner! That wasn't so hard, was it? Just remember to always check for the best terrain to attack from. You'd be surprised the advantage you can gain over an opponent like that. I know it saved my behind in a game or 2.
I'll try and remember that.
Oh, before I forget, these are all my spare pieces. I want the Savior of Meridian to have them. It's a small set to be sure, but it should be enough to get you in on any strike games you find out there. You might even fancy looking out for them strike carvers. They've got all kinds of unique pieces that can turn a game in your favor, though they'll need the right materials to craft you one. Or you might find them in the wilds if you're lucky. You know, I've lost my fair share of pieces after a night of machine hunting or brew hopping. No need to thank me. Always a pleasure to help out new strike players. Now, if you feel like playing a real game, I've got plenty of other boards. I could even teach you a few more tricks if you're up for it.
Thanks. I'll think about it.
Somewhat interesting. I mean, why not? I mean, we're here. Like, let's not lollygag, I guess.
Ah, I knew I'd make a strike player out of you yet. How about this time I tell you how to use a board's terrain to your advantage? This one's got all the different terrains you can encounter in a game of Strike. Knowing when and how to use them can mean the difference between victory and defeat. Terrain mainly affects your machine's combat power. As you know, when fighting an opponent's machine, you compare its combat power to yours. The higher your machine's combat power, the more damage you can do. So finding the right terrain is an essential strategy for overpowering your opponent. Here, I'll show you. Grab that piece to your left and move to attack my machines. Now let's take a look at your machine's combat power. Combat power is the sum of a machine's attack power and the value of the terrain it's standing on. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's also standing on forest terrain with a value of 1 point. Add those together and your machine has 3 points of combat power. My machine is standing on grassland terrain with a value of 0 points. It's also not attacking, which means their attack points aren't in play. So my combat power is 0. This means your machine can do 3 points of damage. Go ahead and test it out. There you go. Now, choosing the right terrain doesn't just improve your offense. It can also help defend your machines from attack. Grab your other piece and place it in front of my second machine. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's standing on grassland terrain. This terrain has a value of 0. This means your machine's combat power adds up to 2 points. My machine can't use their attack power since they're defending their position. But they have the higher ground. They're standing on forest terrain, which is worth 1 point. This means my combat power adds up to 1 point. Now, the front of my machine is colored blue. This means that the spot you're about to attack has armor protecting it. Which means my machine gets an extra point, giving it a total of 2 combat power points. If we compare the combat power of both machines, you'll see that you won't be able to do any damage. Whenever you're unable to top an opponent's combat power, you can still choose to attack and break their machine's defenses instead. Go ahead, try it out and see what happens. Ha, see? When you break a machine's defenses, you can knock it backwards. Sure, both our machines will receive 1 point of damage, but knocking my machine off that terrain makes it more vulnerable to attacks. Not only that, if my machine had been blocked from moving backwards, it would have received an extra point of damage. And if my machine had been blocked by another one of my pieces, that machine would have received damage as well. That's why breaking a machine's defenses is a great way to deal damage to several pieces at once. Useful, right? Okay, now go ahead and end your turn. There's still one more thing I want to show you. All right, as we've seen, the higher the terrain, the more it'll add to your machine's combat power. However, there are 2 other terrains that work a little differently. This is what we call a chasm. Only flying machines can be placed on those. But it'll take away 2 combat points if you do, so be wary. This is marsh terrain. Landing on it will take away 1 combat power point from most machines. It'll also keep your machine from moving for the rest of the turn. Here, let me show you. Grab that machine on your left. See? All you can do now is wait for your next turn to move again. Or you can overcharge your machine to get out of there. You can still attack any nearby enemies so you're not completely helpless. Well, I think that's enough yammering from me for now. Promise it'll all come in handy next time you play. Here for more tips? Why don't I tell you a bit more about the pieces we used to play? In a normal game, you get to choose which machines you place on the board. Each one is worth a certain number of setup points, and you can spend up to 10 assembling your army. Knowing what each machine brings to the game and building an army that matches your strategy is the key to becoming a machine strike master. When assembling your army, there are a few things to keep in mind. First and foremost, you can never have more than 4 of the same machine on the board at the same time. With that in mind, most players would choose machines based on how far they can move or how much attack power they have. But a real strike player will be looking at a machine's type and skills. Let's take a quick look, shall we? Pick up that machine on your left. All right, let's talk about the different ways in which a machine attacks its opponents. In other words, its machine type. If you look at your notes, you'll see this machine here is a melee type. You can also tell by the shape of the base the piece stands on. A melee type machine attacks the first enemy within range, and no one else. We've seen this plenty of times, so just move that piece forward so I can show you some more stuff. Great, now grab your other machine. Looks like we've got ourselves a gunner type machine here. This means they'll only hit the farthest enemy in their attack range. Let's move that machine forward and end your turn so we can take a look at the rest of the pieces. Let's go with this piece first. This is a ram type machine. Attack an enemy with it and it'll push the piece backwards. Like this. See, now my machine has taken over your machine's spot on the board. This is a great way to take the advantage away from your opponent if they have the higher ground. Looks like we have one more piece to look at. Now this is a beauty of a piece, a dash type machine. When it attacks, it'll move to the end of its attack range and damage every machine in its path, including your own. So make sure you take a good look at the board before you send it off to the races. You should also make sure it's able to finish its attack on an empty spot. Otherwise, you won't be able to attack at all. Here, I'll show you. Look, it even rotated your piece. A nifty little piece you'll definitely want in your set. If you look at your notes, you'll notice this particular machine has one of the skills I mentioned before. There's quite a few of those, and we haven't even looked at all the machine types yet. But I'm pretty sure you've got more important things to do, so I made you a list. It's got all the tips and tricks we talked about, too. I think that about does it for now, so if you want to play a real game, just let me know. Here we go. That's it for me. Okay, let's see. Your move, Red. Hey! Oh, that was the perfect spot! I'm up. Your turn. Oh, only one. Guess luck's not on your side today, Red. All right, let's start off simple. The Tanakh like to say that Machine Strike is a game of pure strategy. We each get a set of... Oh, guess you're done, huh? Let's do this! You're up, Red. Time to get serious. Board's all yours. My turn. Not looking good for you, Red. Ah, off the board it goes. Okay, let's see. Board's all yours. You got me. Fair and square. Good luck. Time to make my move. That's it for me. Time to get serious. You're up, Red. Oh, seriously? I'm up. Well, that's done now. Your move, Red. was a surprise. My turn. One less piece on the board. Looks like you're down to one piece. Ah, down to one piece. I might win this thing. I'm up. Your turn. Gotta say, your odds aren't good, Red. Time to get serious. That's the game. You up for a rematch? This is gonna be fun. My turn. Your turn. Knocked right off the board. Time to make my move. Your move, Red. Okay, let's see. That's how you do it. That's it for me. That was brutal. Time to get serious. You're up, Red. Just one piece left. That sure dampens the forge. Hey! I like that piece where it was. One less piece on the board. I won! Oh, but I'll play you again if you want. Let's play. Board's all yours. I'm up. Board's all yours. Thank the forge you hit armor. Okay, let's see. That's it for me. I was hoping you wouldn't do that. Ha! Not that easy to get through my machine's armor, is it? That was brutal. Well, that's done now. My turn. Ah, down to one piece. I might win this thing.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Like talking to the wind.
Looks like you're down to one piece. Gotta say, your odds aren't good, Red.
GG. GG.
Oh, I won! Probably shouldn't sound so surprised, huh? Here we go.
I like Orlog better.
Your turn. You're up, Red. Time to get serious. Sometimes I surprise even myself. Your move, Red. Lucky me, you hit armor. I'm up. That's it for me. Off the board it goes. Knocked right off the board. Okay, let's see. Armor is a machine's best defense. Just one piece left. I got a tough fight ahead of me. Your turn. Armor is your best friend in this game, I'm telling you.
There we go.
Looks like I lost.
There we go. Okay, now.
This is gonna be fun.
That's a lot more guys.
You're up, Red. Time to make my move. Board's all yours. Whoa! Got me good. One less piece on the board. My turn. Knocked right off the board. That was brutal. I'm up. Your move, Red. Well, that's done now. Time to get serious. Off the board it goes. Off the board it goes. My turn. Board's all yours. That was brutal. Okay, let's see. One less piece on the board. Thank the forge you hit armor. Now that was a game, even if I lost.
Oh, I got the seven thingies. The 7 thingies. Alright.
Let's do this. Okay, let's see. Your turn. Time to make my move. You're up, Red. My turn. Knocked right off the board. Well, that's done now. Time to get serious. Your move, Red. One less piece on the board. I'm up.
No.
Well, that's done now. Hey, I like that piece where it was. Knocked right off the board. Off the board it goes. Well, spark my forge. You have beaten me on every one of my boards. Now that deserves a prize, I said.
Yeah!